Fact.
My What the Farage moment concerns the royal family and, of course, Meghan Markle. Remember, she moved off to the west coast of America because she wanted a quieter life. Quite why, then, in that regard, she goes on doing major interviews, I just don't know. The latest one, a 6,400-word piece with an American magazine based in New York. And one of the revelations is that she met a South African man who told her that they danced in the streets and rejoiced when Meghan married into the royal family, just as they did when Nelson Mandela was released from prison. I don't think we've ever come across anybody in any walk of life, let alone the royal family, with such an over-inflated sense of her own worth and self-importance as Meghan Markle. And it's pretty clear from this interview she doesn't intend to stop talking. So much of what she says is completely and utterly untrue. The damage she and her husband are doing to the Queen and to the royal family is absolutely incalculable. I do think, not just here, but in America too, people are beginning to wake up. These two self-obsessed hypocrites, liars,
Well, duh.
are in the end going to be ignored by everybody. At least I hope and pray so.
I'm just privileged to be able to speak to him from time to time. What's that?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. So, I mean, yes, I mean, we've known each other for 63 years. Woo! Since we're 15 years old. So there's a certain love there that you would have to somebody who you were close friends with in high school. And we were very close in high school in our senior year.
Are you serious?
That's when he was my captain of Company A, and he made me his first platoon sergeant. And I did a good job. I never got fired. Let's put it that way.
Are you serious?
Although the platoon sergeant for the second platoon got fired repeatedly. We couldn't find the right guy. So so yes, it's been many years and very good feelings and a good rapport. I do think we have it though. You got to remember one thing, even though there are millions and millions of votes being manufactured, perhaps
okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
In favor of Kamala Harris, those count only for one vote. In other words, it's a vote that goes into Kamala's column. But the votes that Donald Trump is getting, like maybe 10 million from Robert Kennedy, maybe another 20 million from other sources, because the Black population, the Latino population, the population of women in America are certainly coming.
Are you serious?
They're becoming more aware of what's really going on here. And so those count as two, in a sense, because not only does it go into Donald Trump's category as another vote, but it comes out of Kamala Harris's. So those votes are twice as impactful, and I think we're going to be able to do it. I think we're going to be too big to rig. There's going to be such turnout because Donald Trump is loved by so many people.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much at stake. There is so much at stake. Samantha, I just want to ask you, because we haven't spoken since we haven't spoken publicly since...
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
The entire Hollywood media establishment, barring a couple, Vanity Fair, Town and Country, People, Us Weekly, have turned on Meghan Markle. This is an extraordinary development. I mean, for a long time, these publications were all...
Wait for it.
...against you, and they were effectively doing Meghan's propaganda. And there has been a complete 180 based on the shocking reports in the Hollywood Reporter.
Okay.
Revealing Meghan's treatment of staff, describing her as a dictator in high heels. Then the Daily Beast, describing her as a psycho. I mean, what has happened, Sam? This is a huge turnaround. Even the
Fact.
Daily Mail, which had been pretty positive over the past few months, reporting over the weekend Harry and Meghan's missing millions. Archewell Foundation didn't declare $4 million on latest tax return as all eyes turned to Sussex's upcoming declaration with questions over where money went. So what has happened, Sam, in your opinion, for the Hollywood media, which was so backing the Sussexes for such a long time, to turn on Meghan in this way? What's changed?
Very good question.
Well, in my opinion, like the old saying, the cream always rises to the top. And even Hollywood, who were high on this royal fantasy in the beginning and wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt, I think, coupled with a lot of paid PR.
Are you serious?
That I think may be waning. You know, you can only afford to have people cover yourself so much and write so many articles that look favorable in the face of actions that are not. And so I think people were observing that, wait a minute, this is, it seems like it would be exhaustive for them. But after a while, after burning X amount of bridges, people want, I think, in Hollywood to be treated with dignity, respect.
Okay.
And trust is an important thing. And in absence of all of those things, it doesn't seem sensible that they would still be inclined to put out positive PR. It seems like the truth has to come out.
Fact.
Enough was enough. And that's what, that's what I think happened.
But Peter, sorry, you go, Sam. Finish your point, sorry.
No, and I wanted to bring up something else because you were talking about Harry and his immigration.
What is he doing?
Status.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is really important because I'm a constitutionalist. It's not just the immigration issue. It's the fact that on continuum, since congressmen like Jason Smith and others
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
had sent letters to Queen Elizabeth asking that their titles be stripped, it is a violation of Article 1, Section 9 of the United States Constitution.
Wait for it.
To have royal titles interfering in American politics, whether it was about, leave of absence or women's issues or mental health, or especially now censorship and misinformation. For those two to get on stages using their titles creates a false elevated an elevated perception of them against average American citizens. It carries the weight of them somehow being more credible and special. So when they say these things, they dabble in politics. And certainly when they're talking about misinformation and censorship, which in my
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
opinion, they are the purveyors of misinformation. It has clout. It does bring a false influence, and it needs to be stopped. The Constitution says no. So I don't think if Democrats don't take office again, I think that's going to have to be addressed. And several congressmen have already brought it to the table.
Well, because Peter, Harry and Meghan are not even hiding their globalist connections. I mean, look at this picture, for example, from New York. There's Harry alongside Hillary Clinton, Dr. Tedros from the World Health Organization, who did so many terrible things over the COVID pandemic. He was with him earlier in the week in New York. So they're not hiding that they are part of this globalist elite.
But what is glaring to me, and I think the left are starting to question this, to get back to the Hollywood thing, is that they are out there preaching about online bullying.
That doesn't make sense.
Look at the Sussex Squad, Christopher Boozy, paid PR. They are out there suggesting that they are the know-it-alls of what constitutes misinformation and disinformation.
What?
In my opinion, they're not credible to do that because they put out so much misinformation and disinformation that has been deleterious to so many. So the hypocrisy is terrible, but I don't feel that they're qualified. Neither of them has been elected. Neither has obtained a law degree or run for councilwoman or congressman or senator. And they certainly weren't given license by the royal family to be on the global stage talking about these global issues. So I don't see why any globalist would be taking them seriously. If I were one of them at the WEF, I'd be looking at that going, wait a minute, and you're who? How are you qualified to be here? So my opinion, and I think it's a factor.
Do you agree, Peter?
Not entirely. I hate to disagree with Samantha, but I do.
Explain.
Wait for it.
Because Harry is one of 16 governors in the Aspen Institute, which is in charge of basically determining for us what is disinformation and misinformation on the internet.
Fact.
So he's somehow, I mean, how do these people wangle their way into these kinds of positions? I have no idea. Because Samantha's right about the fact that they, who are they? One guy is born with some title and
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
probably inadequately educated and inadequately, whatever. This guy's not really exactly, a performer. I wouldn't trust him to be a plumber in my house. Not that there's anything wrong with plumbers, but
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, I have a lot more respect for a guy that does an honest job during the day than I do for this entitled person that has no capabilities that we know of doing anything other than maybe shooting some people.
That doesn't make sense.
And
Yeah.
the thing is, he seems to be having, let's just be honest about this, a serious midlife crisis. Lots of rumors about the state of his marriage to your sister, Sam.